kind of fixated on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And whereas Schultheis at the end of his career didn't do any of that at all, and I know Rudolph only if he ever had to, but they just rode ramrods straight and stopped using a lot of that. But
they didn't even ride until they're 4?
Oh no, all the time. But they just didn't use a lot of lateral.
They didn't go
flexion.
beyond that. They just went and sit with a certain.
They let the horse come loose as a result of the horses were really hard to ride and then they were made easy to ride. Mm-hmm. Whereas Bimbo would use a lot of softening to make them fairly easy to ride first, right? And then or just work on that. Whereas it just happened with Schultheis. At a certain point. And where I was getting at was Bimbo told me that earlier in his career, and in his mind when his horses were actually going better, is that he did use a lot of bending, lateral bending and suppling, right? But that Lurka did, but that he just gradually stopped doing that.
He didn't have to after a while.
No, and then I had people tell me,
or he realized that it was causing problems.
So he just didn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
This is what I got from Bimbo about a horse that Schultheis would train personally. That and Neil told me this, and Bimbo told him this. That's what Neil told me. So I'm third generation with this little story. That Schultheis would get on a horse and just let it scramble for like 6 months. Just no contact. And just the thing would be bouncing off the walls and he'd just be sitting there. Right? And just basically only he touched them when they had to, but just the contact just was gone. Right? For 6 months. And then gradually the horse would really take a hold in front. But how he was doing that, I'm not exactly sure, because he was doing something to get the horse to take a hold of. Because I've done quite a bit of that, trying to figure that out. And it's not exactly that. Right? There's something else to it. But at the very end of that, what he would do is he'd just do one flexion to the right, one flexion to the left. And of course, this is an exaggeration. I'm sure he did it more than once. And the horse was through its neck and trained. Like, bam. But he was that kind of a clear-cut, precise trainer.
And so he wasn't using any kind of deep riding at all? Or?
He did it first, and then didn't need it
And then he
anymore.
abandoned
and
that.
then just got to the point where it just wasn't necessary. The principle of it is there, right? But it was just very secondary. And I've had people tell me incredible things about the horses that he rode, that they would ride, that he trained, and some really... like they would pull you out of the saddle kind of things. Like that's how hard they pull. But what that told me was that person was pulling. And that they weren't strong enough to just sit there with their seat and control the horse completely from their seat. And that's where he evolved to. Right? But that's you just can't be born with that. That has to be a process.
Yeah, it's not really an amateur style.
Oh, hell no. And